Maybe we should take the Peter box over and see if we can get the alien writing identified.
Okay, where do you guys want to take it?
Oh, that wizard dude.
Sure, Lustan?
Allustan, yes.
Yeah, so you guys, everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys go over to Lustan's house. You guys, I assume, knock on the door?
Yep.
So he opens up the door and he says, "This is becoming a daily occurrence."
Well, you know.
Gives you guys a smile, says, "Hey, go ahead and have a seat. I'll be out with the tea in just a second. There's 4 of you again today? Alrighty." Goes back in the house.
Tea time.
He grabs his the teacups and everything, comes back down and kind of sits down. He says, "So did you guys end up getting back out to the burial, Cairn?"
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And what did you guys find?
A happy young man who was glad that we brought back his relatives and were able to get them buried.
Oh, very nice. I'm sure that that he was happy that had happened. Did you guys find anything past that that door?
Indeed we did.
Interesting. Any paintings or any sort of significant stuff there?
We'll pull out the box and show it to him.
He looks very intrigued, kind of turns the box around and sort of looks at it, and he's like, "This is interesting writing. Any of you guys able to figure out what this writing is?"
No, that's why we're coming to you.
Alright, so he kind of looks at it a little bit more, and he says, "Well," "I'm not quite sure what this is either." Sort of, you hear him kind of whispering and moving his hands kind of over the box, and kind of looks a little frustrated, and he goes, He says, "It's not magical." He kind of does something else, and he's like, "Huh, did you try to open it?"
Well, no.
Oh, he says, "Well, I don't see any way to necessarily open it, but there's something inside there. I'm getting some feelings of magical vibrations from inside."
Just kind of look for a button on the side of it, or
Yeah, can you give me
a mechanism.
a perception check, or if you have disabled device, you could look for that too. Eridus, you don't see anything that appears to be a button or a latch or a mechanism at all. He's kind of so, well, you could always just break it.
What about turning it upside down or something?
Okay, so you turn
Bash it.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying someone can bash it.
Whatever you guys think. Whatever you'd like to do. So you try to turn it upside down. You hear something sort of rattle inside now. You hadn't really noticed it before. But nothing falls out when you turn it upside down.
I guess we could smash it.
Alright, who wants to smash it?
I'll smash it. Why
The
not?
shopkeeper wants to.
Alright, so Eridus, go ahead and give me a... we'll do a strength check. That'll be good. Alrighty. So you hit it, and actually it cracks open. The lid sort of cracks and doesn't open completely, but you think you could get your fingers in there and kind of pull it open if you wanted to open it further.
Yeah, go ahead and do that then.
Okay. So as you crack it open, you see that there's a kind of a long handle with a hoop that kind of looks like a magnifying glass, but it doesn't have a lens at all on it. And the loop is made of a strong metal that looks to be pretty valuable. Allustan says,
take it out and show it out to the wizard.
"Okay, yeah." He goes, He's like, "You found something interesting here, that's for sure." kind of looking at it, and he says, kind of mumbles some words and whatnot, and all of a sudden you notice that when he does that, it glows actually quite brightly. He's like, whoa. He's like, this is quite powerful, actually.
Ask him around. Can he tell how old it is?
It's very old. Looks like it's thousands of years. It's definitely magical, but I'm not able to identify it.
And you said there was like a magnifying glass on it?
It looks like a magnifying glass, like a holding magnifying glass, but without the glass in the center. So it's kind of a stick with a loop around it that would fit in your hand, if that makes sense, kind of as the description.
Did I do a knowledge arcana check on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you remember reading some stories about these Wind Dukes using devices similar to this, trying to work with the spheres of annihilation, kind of that picture you guys had seen on the wall in the last tomb. Do you want to tell Allustan that, or just kind of hold it to your own?
Yeah, I'll mention how I read a book, Candlekeep, where they had descriptions of items that looked like.
Okay, and he's like, "Oh, that's right. Thank you." He's like, "You are definitely a smart sorcerer, no doubt about it." So he says, "I do remember this. This was these were used actually to help get some control over spheres of annihilation, which would destroy anything that touched them." He says, "I don't know how to use it. I don't know what it's completely full for," he said, "but obviously it's probably very valuable." He says, "You may want to hang on to this. You may need it in the future."
I don't think it was there for no reason.
Yeah, let's hang on to it. I agree.
All right. He kind of looks at you, winks, and smiles, and says, "One always has to be prepared."
True enough.
Did you find anything else in your travels that was interesting?
Some red-tipped black horns. Pull them out and show them to him.
Okay. He does the same thing, kind of says some words and kind of wiggles his hand across it and says, "I don't see any magical attributes to this. Maybe this had some significance with the final battle or something at his death."
Does he say wapple dapple?
He does. He does. And then he kind of looks over to you guys and he said, "I've heard some rumors."
Don't.
Kind of looks kind of at all three of you, or four of you, kind of looking at you.
What rumors would those be?
You guys have been busy in town, I've heard.
We're kind of out of towners.
Yeah, I hear that unfortunately some of Balabar Smenk's men who are well known in town are missing. There's some rumors that they had died in the feral dog over a battle of a discrepancy on a betting game. You guys wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Oh, you know what sucks is I forgot.
Did anybody hear that? I think that's a fire alarm. Excuse me, I gotta go.
He kind of smiles and he looks at you guys. He says, "Those guys needed to disappear a long time ago, but just so you know, people have noticed that you're in town." And he said, "Also, we've noticed that the old observatory hasn't been as active as it was, and there's rumors that you guys have been going in and out of that house, the old observatory. Is that true?"
Maybe.
The less you know, the better. Are you sniffing what I'm stepping in?
He chuckles. He says, well, I think that if you found anything interesting there, I may be able to help you with those things as well. He's like, I don't want any trouble with you guys. I'm just here to help you out.
Well, some stuff just, assets get rearranged sometimes. We come across things with no owners anymore.
Okay.
And so we are more than happy to allow you to make sure that someone that holds value over said items may very well want to claim them.
I see. Well, if you guys find anything interesting that was left by previous owners there, that you're not sure what they are, I'm more than happy to take a look at them and kind of talk about what I know about them or what I don't know about them. So,
well, there's this owl.
Owl? He's kind of perks up a little bit. What about the owl?
Did we show him the glasses yet?
I think I have his dead carcass chained to my back.
Did we show him the glasses yet?
No.
Maybe we should show him those.
Yeah, check out these badass rays, man. They're called Blu-rays.
He looks at him and kind of says, kind of looks at him a little bit and turns him back and forth and hands him back to Tanner and says, "This is only for the young kids. This isn't for me."
Oh no, these are great with a smoke stick.
That's awesome. And then Tanner, he kind of looks over to you and says, you have a dead owl in your possession?
It's a long story. I'll give him the
Don't
owl.
mind my friend, he's a little weird sometimes.
I was going to say, are you changing your cloth and going into necromancy or what?
Well, if I hang around this guy long enough, I may. I'll point to Eridus.
Brains. He likes
Wanted to give him a proper burial.
There you go. That's funny. He says, well, if I know that the person that was there before was into some, how may I say it, unnatural things. And there's rumors that he was working on corpses and even rumors of corpses that don't die. So if you have any knowledge about that or know anything about those or have anything that I can examine, I'd be greatly interested. He's very serious now. He says, Daggerford is my home. This is where I've retired. Things unfortunately have changed over many years where we have gone from a very prosperous town now to a desolate town where nobody stays unless they have to. And he said, if there's rumors of undead, which I have heard about, that do not die, I'm afraid that the town will be destroyed and
Show him all the papers and stuff that we gathered, I guess. Because there's a bunch of papers that are correct, like worksheets and shit.
There was. You guys had a note from Balabar to Filge that was there.
Yeah. Show him the letter.
Okay. Just to refresh memories. So.
Yeah,
there it is. So he kind of goes to the letter and he sits back and he's sort of leaning back and he said, "This is very disturbing. It's interesting because Raglan, Dowstorn, and Smenk are not friends at all. They're very big competitors. So why Ragnar would put him down into the mine is very unusual. And then this is what I've heard about these green worms and unkillable zombies. I've heard about it. It's something going down in the south. I've been trying to figure out what's going on there. I haven't really found a whole lot of information. It says that he had a worm. Did you guys find a worm in there?"
Yeah, we show him the worm in the vial.
He kind of looks at it and sort of turns it back and forth. And you see him kind of with a very concerned look on his face. What do you guys know about these worms?
Nothing.
Oh, that
Real gross.
they were some sort of spawn of God, what the hell was that damn thing's name?
Kais.
Kais.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was it. They were
Just off
spawn
it.
of Kais, and if those things what was it? Got a hold of you or got in you or something or other. It was pretty much the end of you or something along those lines.
That's similar to what I've heard. And I've also heard that zombies have these kind of crawling out of their skin, and people try to kill them like they normally would, and they're not able to kill them. And then they're...
Well, I heard if you fry them and then dip them in chocolate, they're actually kind of tasty and chewy for a very long time.
He kind of looks at you and says, "You guys are an odd bunch of people." And he chuckles.
Well, they just stay chewy forever.
And then the next thing he asks you is, have you heard anything about an Ebon Triad?
Ding, 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 ding.
Does-
Tell, yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Does
You mean
sound
like
familiar.
this symbol on my armor? Isn't that the symbol on my armor?
That's
No.
That's the Seekers.
That's the Seekers. That's
Right.
what it was.
Yep. Those are the archaeologists that are out stealing stuff from a bunch of cairns.
Where's our note taker? He's fired.
I don't know. I'm not sure who the note taker is. So he says, "Well, I've heard about this Ebon Triad. I don't know much about it, but I keep hearing rumors of it, or talk, or discussions of that are ongoing about this." Can who has knowledge religion? Anybody?
Not
I can do it
Yeah, I think I do.
unskilled if I don't
Why don't we
have
do
it.
Why don't we do some knowledge religion rolls here, real quick?
Yeah, I'll have to do it untrained. I know a little bit of religion.
Bo, so you know that the Ebon Triad is an evil cult that's dedicated into merging the gods of Bane, Baal, and Merkel together into a mighty overgod.
Called the Great Worm.
Similar.
Does he know if they have cash or not?
Yeah. Are they financially independent?
So he says nobody knows much about the Ebon Triad at all, to be honest with you. Does anybody else want to try a knowledge check to see what you know?
I'll try a knowledge history.
Okay. Tanner, unfortunately, you don't know anything about the Ebon Triad. That must have been the other side of the continent. Eridus, you know as well, and I assume you're going to share that adherents to the doctrine of the Ebon Triad, they clutch close to their secrets, even from other worshippers from the other gods who consider themselves heretics. So Bane followers don't tell the other followers about what's going on and consider them not to be, true believers. In fact, the word of the heresy has not spread far from these three churches, who keep an account that the activities are brutally suppressed unless the cult gains more converts. So they know that they're keeping it very quiet unless they get more converts to kind of break this out. All right, Tanner or Korrh, why don't you just do an untrained, and that way we can see if you got any additional information.
Untrained is
It's going to be an intelligence, so you can just do your intelligence. Yeah, and Korrh, you haven't heard anything about this Ebon Triad at all. So he says, I think this is, unfortunately, probably come to Daggerford, and I'm not sure in what realm or how this has occurred, but it's very concerning to me in the livelihood of both Daggerford as well as Waterford or Waterdeep.
If that god is able to be resurrected, that spells destruction for all of the Sword Coast.
Unfortunately, I think that's very true, Allustan says. And I think from reading the note, it looks like there's some people in cahoots trying to bring that about.
Well, not that I love the Sword Coast. It's very beautiful and everything, but, as long as it doesn't get over here into the Dales.
So Allustan says, if you guys need anything, any assistance, like I said, I'm not going to. My adventuring days are over, but I'm always here. You're always welcome to come over, and I'm more than happy to look at things or talk about things. And I'm going to continue to look into these. This rumors of worms and zombies and whatnot. And if you don't mind, I'll keep the specimen that you gave me, and I'm gonna commune with some of my other colleagues in my school and see if they've heard anything different. Would that be okay?
Has sense motive on him.
Absolutely.
You got him pegged.
Yeah, it seems like he's pretty legitimate. You obviously have detected evil on him before, and he wasn't evil, and he seems to be generally concerned about the things that you have told him.
Yeah, let him keep the specimen and check it out.
Okay. The other thing is Balabar, according, if you're looking at this note, may have some access for you guys or more information. You may want to talk to him.
Maybe we should talk to this Balabar.
Who is Balabar again?
He's one of the 3 mine owners in the area. Balabar Smank is also the one that, when you guys looked at the note, had sent the note to Filge and was the kind of the running of the henchmen of Cullen and all his buddies that you guys had dispatched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we need to go have a little combo.
We're probably gonna have to do it discreetly though, or try to find some way to get him.
So you guys know that Smank is one of these guys that kind of is around the town most of the time, doesn't go in the mine hardly at all. He does have a home that you could go to. However, it's kind of like almost like a fortress. Has a wall around it. He has patrolling guards that are on the outside. He doesn't really trust a lot of people. So that's not a way that you could technically meet up with him. He does go to the Emporium. He does go to Lazaire's, which is a place where they play dragon chess, where people have a little bit more money on occasion. And obviously the Feral Dog, his guys go to, so you could maybe even leave a message there if you wanted to meet with him or set up for a meeting.
What do you guys think?
Guess it can't hurt. We can get a kind of a measure of the person that way.
Yeah, I want to go see if we can see him at the Feral Dog.
Yeah. I wanted to check out that Boggle dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we can check
Mr.
him out.
Flexible Green dude, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect there's something odd about the freaking things.
He's at the Emporium, so if you guys want to go to the
he's at the
Emporium, you
Emporium.
can. Yeah, you can go either way, wherever you guys want to go.
Yeah, we'll go to the Emporium.
Okay, so you guys head over to the Emporium. As you remember, when you walk in, there's a money taker there that's standing at the door. It's early in the afternoon, so there's not a lot of people here. However, there's 3 shifts of mine work, so it's constantly being worked on. So there's definitely people working in the mine as we speak. Or in the Emporium, I'm sorry. So, and you guys walk in, and Gaspar, who's a human guy sitting at a desk, is kind of grinning at you again. He says, I haven't seen you guys in a week. Where you guys been? We thought you were all dead.
We have brushed death and come back, and I am working on some really nice ballads to be able to play here that will tell the story. But as long as we continue to be charged to come in here, I don't know whether you want to really hear them. Unless, of course, you're going to pay me.
I don't think so. He kind of smiles at you. He's got sort of an up-curled mustache kind of on both sides that when he smiles, it kind of gives him sort of that gnarly snarl type smile. He says,
Sarah?
It's, if you're going to sing, we're more than welcome to let you come in. We won't charge anybody, but you have to do 2 ballads.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. So he says, okay, go ahead and go on in. So, as you guys go in, you guys remember that there was a kind of a large bar room area. There was a stage that was up on top. Korrh, you remember your one of your kind of mentors or person that you looked up to, Aurelio. He's a magician that kind of does stunts up there on the stage. It works here. You guys remember Tom, who was the blue guy that kind of did this contortionist stuff that Korrh was all into as well. And then there was a big human guy named Gaspar, who was kind of like the bouncer of the house. So you see Gaspar, he's kind of in the corner. It's not really that busy at all in the bar area. There's a few miners. There, instead of having Aurelio up on the stage, you see a male halfling person up on stage, and he's kind of flipping some cards, and people are coming up and kind of waiting in line, almost like he's giving fortunes or working with a deck of many things, kind of up there, and he's kind of working through the cards, and everything seems pretty calm and collected in there. Arrow indicates where you guys are at, by the way. The observatory is way up in the upper left of the map, just by the D. Ragnarok's mine, or Rangolan's mine, is right there. But most of the stuff is right here in the center of town, right around that circle. Alright. What you guys like to do?
Oh, Bose, what do you want to do?
Did you share the map?
I thought I did. I can reshare it though.
Yeah,
I had the big map that just showed the town, but not the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me get the other one. I thought I had shared it. Let me re-click it here and share it. It's kind of what it looks like. Sort of see it there. The one on the left is kind of the room that we're in. And then...
tap room?
Yeah, yep, exactly. No, actually, I'm sorry, the one on the right. My apologies. Jeez, oh, Pete, I got to get my... no, yeah, the tap
okay,
room.
I
Yep.
see. They kind of bump...
Yeah, one on the right. Yep, where that's not a cage there. That's actually the stage that's there. And then the door you guys came through was reception and weapon storage that you can see there as well. All right. And then the other one's downstairs. So.
Stage.
Yeah, they do a lot of things up there. So you guys kind of just sort of standing there.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of strum my instrument and ask about the other performers and get any tips as to the crowd and the people that visit here and whatnot. And so I'm kind of meandering around to get to know some of the other performers and what advice I can get from them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab an ale from the bar.
Excellent. All right, so you go ahead and head over and grab a drink. Go ahead. Who else?
Me too. I'll be sitting at the
Grab
bar
an ale.
getting an ale.
Okay. All right. So 3 L's, and then Bose is going to kind of work the room. So you guys kind of get your ale and sit down at the bar. Don't see anything that seems overly out of place. You do see a guy sitting at a table that looks to be probably one of the rangers or somebody that lives out in the woods. Is kind of cloaked in covered in furs and is kind of sitting by himself, drinking at a table. You see, there's also several miners that are kind of around, look like they don't really have much money, kind of either drinking or talking and just general conversation.
All right. Do we know who and when is performing, such as I can figure out when?
Yeah,
I
so
get my opportunity.
absolutely.
To,
So the fortune teller that's up on the stage right now is going to probably be working for another 20, 30 minutes. The bouncer tells you. He's like, we were supposed to have Aurelio come up, but he's been kind of under the weather lately, and he was hoping not to work. So if you want to go up then, you can kind of throw in a little ballad and see what's going on. And then, the all-time favorite, the contortionist, he's coming out probably in about an hour or so.
Okay, yeah, I like watching him.
Okay. So she's kind of tossing her cards up there and kind of giving fortunes and whatnot. You see people sort of kind of come in, go, and don't really notice anybody in particular that you've seen before. Some of them, kind of come in and ask. You see you guys sitting at the bar. They ask the bartender, hey, do you have our supplies for our ale this week? And he's like, yeah. And he goes back and grabs kind of like a half keg and gives them a half keg, and they walk out with it and stuff like that. So just kind of normal bar type activities, really.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go up and do a ballad and see if I have anybody, or take some sort of requests on a type of tune and whatnot. Just generally, the idea is to get them to be a little participatory, a little more interactive. Try and gain the. What I'm trying to do is get them a little more interactive. The more they interact, the more they talk, they drink, they buy more alcohol, and then I can use that as a tip to the owner to say, hey, when I'm up there, they come around and they buy more. They stick around more.
Alrighty. So you kind of start, playing your songs and kind of go through your whole thing, saying, hey, come on up for some requests. One guy kind of comes up and he's like, yeah, can you sing about, the great battle of, Am, and so he asks about that. And
well, what I'll do is I do mostly acting and oratory. I can sing, but it's not my best deal. So I can do a story about it that could be quite a good twist on what you've probably heard before, and a lot of the tales that you've heard.
oh, it sounds good. Yeah, definitely.
And you might want to make sure you use the bathroom first so you don't pee your pants laughing too hard.
All right. He walks over to the corner, takes a leak in the corner. He's like, I'm good.
Okay, fine. All right, so I'm gonna. Is this mic working? Real quick guidance on myself. Can find myself. There I am. And we'll throw an old perform oratory and see how the audience loves me.
So they seem pretty enthralled with you, to be honest with you. So as you're singing and doing your song, they seem to be very, very sort of engaged, and kind of a hush comes over the whole entire bar, and even the bartender seems not to notice much anything else except, or the bartender and the bouncer don't notice much else other than you.
And that's the story of the guy who raised the dead.
They all cheer,
and how he ended his life.
they're all happy.
In a feeble attempt to stop the good folk of the Dale.
And they're all happy and cheering. They're like, give us more.
And then I throw my arm up in the air and drop into splits and say, superstar.
That's awesome. So they're all cheering and all happy and whatnot.
And then for my second performance, I'll use my other type of performance so I can
Alrighty.
Do that when it comes around to that time, whenever they want me to do that. If they want me to do it right away, I only have to do 2. I can do more, I guess. But all right. So what I'll do, I'll just do that. I'll follow it up and see if I get lucky with another deal. So
all right.
I will do an acting thing where I will like play one of the roles of part of the oratory story that I told, and see if we can get positive result out of that. And a few tips of the old hat here would be really
Error.
appreciated.
Alrighty.
Okay, that was where I tell you. Here's my acting. Not as good, but it's an act.
Okay. And you again seem pretty successful in keeping the room enthralled in your performances.
All right, next time I'll bring up here maybe Tanner and Erithus, and we can do the Three Stooges.
I'd love to see it.
Does it look like anybody's not enthralled? Like they're kind of serious and...
Yeah, can you give me a perception check? So everybody in the room appears to be interested in what Bose is singing and saying and dancing and everything he's doing. Except for Tanner.
Yeah, I'm just drinking.
So,
You would think if there was a guilty party in the room, they would, if somebody knew something, they wouldn't look so enthralled.
Yeah.
all right. So everybody's, kind of listening to the story and seems to sort of be into it. Can I have perception checks from everybody?
Oh, should we put him in the tower? I'm sorry.
No, you can put them on. I don't mind. You guys can roll this way. It's fine. All right. Look at that. The half-drunk cleric.
For the win! Nothing gets past his bottle.
So, Tanner, you notice that there is a person that slips something, a piece of paper, into Tom, who has kind of been sulking sort of in the corner watching the performance, into his hand, and kind of mentions something to him, and Tom nods his head and just continues to stand there and listen to the performance. And Tom would be kind of, if you're looking at your map, he'd be kind of right where the curtain is where you enter in the room there. Just kind of peeking in.
Alright, I'll mention it to the group.
Okay. Everybody's sitting next to you except for Bose. Bose is still up on the stage. You just want to yell it over to him?
No, I'll wander over to Bose. He's almost done with his second performance, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I was still collecting tips around the room, but
Yeah.
sure.
And,
I'll pretend like I'm tipping him and then whisper in his ear that Tom's got a message, a piece of paper on him. Maybe we could, I could do a distraction for him or something if we could get it.
okay. And as you're done whispering that, one of the miners is like, "Hey, Bose, tell us the story about the night of the feral dog. Come on, we want to hear that one."
Well,
The whole room's cheering. They're like, "Come on, tell us the story."
This place doesn't think that I merit enough to earn coin around this place or whatever. So why don't you go tell the owner that you think he should hire me?
They all laugh and they say, "It's not a he, it's a she, you silly goose." Bouncer kind of looks at you and he's like kind of grimacing and sort of got
I thought the banker owned it, and he was a guy.
No, it's Zalamar. So they're all like laughing and joking around and throwing back beers, and the bouncer's like kind of signals to you to kind of get off the stage.
Excuse me. All right, I'll come back later, folks.
All right, and so they're all like, "Oh," and whatnot, and then they all kind of go back to their thing, and after you kind of get off the stage there, all of a sudden you see Tom again, who, if you remember, was the blue guy, and he kind of comes doing sort of some acrobats, kind of somersaults and cartwheels and kind of boom, boom, boom up onto the stage, and sort of everybody cheers, and they're all like, "Tom, hey, it's Tom. All right, Tom, show us what you got." And they're all, right up along the stage there, and he starts going into sort of his contortion type moves. Bartender kind of starts to walk over to Bose.
All right.
He kind of comes over and he's like, "Nice performance, but just remember, don't be too greedy about the money." And he kind of walks away.
Oh no, my intent is to split the purse with the house.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
mean, unless you're, you get a percentage or whatnot, but because I'm, gaining some tips or whatnot, and this is money that's going, go in your either them buying drinks or whatnot. So if you're paying me, then I get a fixed rate, and you can, and I can keep them entertained and drinking more and sloshing their drinks around from doing different things and getting all excited and whatnot, and you make more money that way too.
He's like, "All right, that sounds good. We would like to take a little bit of that money from you if you don't mind. So just deposit it with the guy on the way out." Kind of walks back over to the wall.